I touch that fine for you. I do that 3-4 times again. I testify for you. I told I like you, that bitch. I do it all, and I'm around. You're scared to do it. I'm not. As long as you joking now here for me, I ain't got it.
Hi my Huns, hi my loves, hi my sweetie pies. Welcome back to a new video, guys. Welcome back to a new video whereby me and you get to go deeper a bit, guys, on life. And if you're wondering who's this girl, who's this beautiful, gorgeous lady, my name is Prudence Matlonolo Mahlangu, also known as Mrs. M, also known as the P Dream gang. And if you're returning regular, my day one, my heart, my love, my sweetie pie, welcome my loves, welcome. I welcome you guys with open hands, and I hope that you guys are having a lovely day as we are about to close up the year. I hope you guys are doing just fine, guys. Like karapel hore modimo a letseng hantle bo botse. Anyhow, my loves, today I'm here to talk about marriage, guys. I'm here to talk about marriage. As you can see by my title, getting married at a very young age, all the mistakes that I've made and all the things that I'm grateful today as I'm still in my marriage, you know? So I just wanted to advise that lady who's still single, or that young lady who's still dating her high school sweetheart, you know, I'm talking to those ladies today. I'm not talking about the ladies who still want to groove and whatever. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just making. Anyhow, my loves. So today, guys, we're going to talk about marriage, getting married young, having kids young, everything, doing it young. You know, guys, growing up, I used to watch Wendy Williams a lot. Like, I wouldn't miss her episode at all. I still miss her so much because I don't think there's anyone who does gossip the way she does it, because she does it with a lot of knowledge and interact. She's very knowledgeable and very intelligent. Yeah, she is an amazing woman. Anyhow, guys, I just feel like a lot of people were misinterpreting her a lot of times. So yeah. So I used to watch her show, and she used to say that she doesn't advise any ladies to get married young, you know. And at that moment when I used to watch her show, I was married already, and she would state a lot of fact that, you know, getting married young, you end up making a lot of mistakes, you know, or you end up being in a situation whereby you're still growing, you know. So right now you have to grow with another person. Sometimes it may make your marriage crash because both of you guys are still young, both of you guys are still making mistakes, both of you guys don't know what marriage really entails, you know. And for me to make this video, guys, it doesn't mean that I am knowledgeable about marriage. Guys, I'm still learning about marriage, even though I've been married to my husband for 10 years now. I'm still learning being in a marriage. I'm still making mistakes as a married woman, you know. But I feel like I've grown so much in my marriage. I feel like I've grown so much in my relationship with my husband, because when I met my husband, guys, I was still in high school. I was in grade 11 going to grade 12, you know, and he was already working. He had just graduated from varsity, because me and him, when we met, those who know, me and him, when we met, it was his graduation party. I met him at his graduation party because a friend of his had invited me to the graduation party. Me and him were not dating or anything. No, he was my friend, and he was like, no, I'm going to a graduation party, can we please go together? And then that's how me and him met, me and my husband, at his graduation party. So sharp, guys. So when we started dating, I was young. I was very young, and yeah, now he was a bit older than me. My husband is 9 years older than me. Not a bit, he's older than me, because he's 9 years older than me. He's turning 40 and I'm turning 31. So yeah. So our life, it became very quick, guys. Yes, we dated for a while before getting married. We dated for 4 years before getting married. So we dated when I was in my teens, and at 20 years, he said that he wanted to marry me. At 20, I was about to turn 20. I was about to turn 21 because I was pregnant with Lindo, and he said that no, he wanted to marry me. And then we bought a house. He bought a house, not we, because at that moment I was not working. But I would say we. No, he didn't buy a house. We bought a house, because I feel like if I was not there, he wouldn't have bought the house. So he bought the house because he was like, you know what, my love, I don't want you to live with my sisters. I don't want you guys to ruin your friendship, because, you know, guys, sisters-in-laws and sisters-in-law fight a lot, you know, especially if you are in each other's faces, you fight a lot. And I just want to thank God on that part. Me and my sister-in-law, we have so much respect for each other. Yes, there are things that have happened before, but even though I was young, guys, we handled it in a matured manner, if I can say that. I can hopefully get back and forth with my sister-in-law or fighting with them. My husband has never been in a position whereby he had to because we are fighting, just like all the things that you would hear outside there, guys, whereby sisters-in-laws would be fighting physically, you know, with words or whatever. I've never encountered such a thing ever since I got married with my husband. You know, if I don't agree with something, I would take it out with my husband, and he would make the right decision. He would make the right thing. I handle a situation if now I'm not feeling okay with it, you know. And again, I didn't have a mother-in-law. My mother-in-law, I've never met her because she passed away long time ago when my husband was still young. So, and you know what? I've always wished to have a mother-in-law, that support system in G. Someone who would teach me on being a wife, you know. But unfortunately, I've never met her. And even my kids, they do ask about her, or mama can go papa okay, and I would answer them that no, Granny passed away a long time ago. Lynn herself as your mother, I have never met her before, you know. So yeah. So guys, I've made a few notes in here. I've made a few notes in my diary so that I don't lose track of what I say, because I have a tendency of losing track of what I'm saying all the time. So I don't want to lose track of what I was saying. So that's why I wrote everything in here. So the first thing that I wrote was getting married young. I think I've indulged on that one, on that part a bit, that, you know, getting married at a young age, it was such a blessing for me. I wouldn't say it was a curse, no, or it was something wrong, or it was a mistake, no. It was a journey for me that God had written for me before even I was born. And that's what I always tell myself, that, you know what, this journey, God is the one who led this journey, because I didn't get my husband Kaditlari or influencing him or whatever. No, it was something that happened that I did not even expect. I remember when he proposed, not officially so, but when he said that already this house was bought. He had already, because I remember when we came to this house, there was nothing more, you know, and he was like, I have a surprise for you. And I said, okay, a surprise. And then we came here, there was no one, like no holy, you know. And he's like, I bought a house. I was pregnant at the time, and he's like, I bought a house for us. And I was like, And he's like, yeah, I'm serious about you. So I've bought a house for you. I remember, and it was such an amazing feeling that this guy is really serious about me. He's older than me. I'm so young. I don't know how to be a wife. So, but he's trusting me with this thing. And then the house was built and whatever. And then I remember I used to visit him, Lindo. And then he was like, babe, I want to marry you. And then fast forward, things just happened. And then later, go high. And then go high, they were like, no, they received a letter from Abmahlanggung. They want to marry you. And I remember my mom asking me, are you sure? You know? And I was like, Mom, I don't even know how to answer you on this one. Am I sure? How can I say I'm sure? I mean, guys, I'm 20. I'm still at varsity. How can I say that I'm sure? But because I love my husband, I adored him. You know, I adore him. I said, yeah, I'm ready for this step that God has directed me to. So yeah. And the second thing that I wrote, what did we experience in our first year of our marriage? Was it honeymoon phase? No. It was not honeymoon phase at all, guys. I feel like the first year of marriage, guys, you guys are still trying to now, don't get me wrong, guys, I feel like honeymoon phase, it's when you guys are dating, because you having kids for me, you know. So I would say honeymoon phase was when we were dating, you know. But when we got married, guys, things were really, really tough, if I might say. Things were really tough because he was working alone. So it means that every responsibility financially, so it was on his hands. Financially, so our like medical aid, dijo tsa rena, mabone, DSTV, dijo tsa ngwana, diaparo tsa ka, everything, guys, it was on him. Every single responsibility that needed financial support, it was on him. So it was a lot of pressure on him on that side. And on my side, again, it was pressure of being sort of like a mother to my child and him. So I was a mother to him. I was a mother again to Lindo. Because at that moment, I mean, he's young. He's still young. When my husband married me, he was 29. He was still young, Len. I was 20. And Nasabato Groover, and he was on his journey while DJ, you know. He was basically a field DJ while he was working. He was running his company, the kilo, the 10, whatever. So he used to be not available for us, if I can put it that way. He was not that like available that much, because during the week he has to go to work. Weekends he has to be busy with his DJing and company and whatever. And I couldn't blame him again on that side, because he needed the money to support us. You know, he needed the money to support us because I was not working. I was not contributing anything financially. And he was paying again my fees go to UT. So it was a lot on him. You know, it was a lot on him. But again, at that moment, because I'm young, I couldn't understand. You know, I couldn't understand. Oh, you're not giving me time. You're not giving me attention, because I was young. I wanted his attention. I wanted his affectionate. I wanted him to be available. But again, how can he be available while he's trying to support us? How could he be available, guys? So I was being unfair on him, but somehow at that moment I was not realizing that I was being unfair on him, because I wanted his attention. Again, I would get so pissed when he said that he wanted to go out with his boys, because I'm like, bruh, you're hardly available. You're not home. And then right now you want to go out with the boys. When are you going to spend time with me and our child? So getting married young, guys, while you two are still trying to figure out life, still trying to figure out bopilo and growing up, it's a very difficult situation. And that's when I realized why Wendy Williams was saying, get married when you have found yourself, when you've achieved things, when you've grown as a person. Because you are able right now to juggle things up. You are able to say, you know what, I'm working, I can do for myself. You are able to offload that pressure from your partner again, because you are working for yourself too. So that's where I said, you know what, Wendy has a point there. So our first day of marriage, I wouldn't say that it was honeymoon phase. No, it was not honeymoon phase. We were still trying to figure out how are we gonna do this thing. We have a child, we have responsibilities. I'm studying at TUT, Motupela Asteng. I have to study with a child, I have to cook, I have to clean. Bekuningi. It was a lot. And again, okay, well, I'll get to the financial part, because no, good offering, as I said, I'm always offering things. So the first year of marriage, I wouldn't say it was honeymoon phase. It was not at all, because we were still trying to figure out things that were happening in Mopulombarna and growing up again mentally and emotionally again as a person. So yeah. The third point that I made is that mistakes I made as a married woman. Guys, I made a lot of mistakes in my marriage. I am not perfect at all, and that's why they always say it takes two people to ruin a marriage. It takes two. And right here, I'm not gonna say things that my husband has made, the mistakes that he has made, but because that's his part, you know. I'm gonna say mine as a woman speaking to other women or speaking to another man who's married to a young woman or whatever. The mistakes that I made in my marriage was that I did not have experience here marriage. I've never been married before. I was young again. I was immature again, you know. And some mistakes that I made, if I can just point them out, was let me just say the first mistake that I made was that if I would fight with my husband, I would always call my mom. Every time I had an altercation with my husband or disagreement or whatever, I would always call my mom. And I'm going to fault myself on that one. And again, I'm not going to fault myself 100% because who was I supposed to confide in? Because I was young. Because I cannot tell my peers, I cannot tell my friends, but go to UT, they're still young, they're still having fun, they're still partying. So I don't think they would have advised me in a manner of me building. They would have advised me in a point of being young, having fun, you know. They would have advised me on that aspect, not on the point of saying re ahisa chumiari. So that's why I took a route of confiding in my mother, because my mom has experienced this. My mom divorced, you know. My mom has experienced relationships before. So that's why I was confiding in her a lot. But I'm faulting myself again on that part because why? My mom, I'm her daughter. I'm her everything. I'm her princess, you know. So she's going to be overprotective of me. You know, she won't take side, my husband. She will always take my side. And again, as women, we have this tendency of not, I wouldn't say lying, but I would say always twisting the truth so that it can suit the situation at that moment. You know, if I say to my mom, yeah, Patrick, why wish you, Patrick, mama, I'm pinako and whatever, I will not state the whole truth. The truth of saying, mama, yeah, Patrick utsamile because or batlela chelete. Or Patrick utsamile because he just wants to offload and unwind and breathe because there's too much responsibility on his hands. I wouldn't say that. I would say, yeah, whatever. You see, that's where you are twisting the truth, because where is the root of this guy? Where is it from? That thing comes from whereby he wants to support you. Anything. So that's why he's always out there hustling. So that's where I twisted the truth. So those are the mistakes that I made as a young person. And again, guys, I'm going to say this and say being disrespectful as a wife. Being disrespectful as a wife. So yeah, guys, I was talking about being disrespectful in your marriage or your relationship. Sometimes as women, we find ourselves being very disrespectful towards our partners. And those are the mistakes that I've made too. You know, not in a manner whereby you swear at your partner or you hit your partner or whatever. But that thing of always back-chatting, I don't know how to put it in a right way. You know, in a right way whereby you guys can get me. But we as women, we find ourselves, guys, a woman must be respectful towards their husband, you know. if you're going out, you have to sit down with your husband and just say, Baba, I'm going out, or can I go out, or whatever. Women used to do that. But now I would find myself in a situation whereby I'm saying, my weekend. That's not respecting your partner. And those are the things that I've got to, and I had to realize as a growing woman that, you know what, I had to, even though I don't ask for permission, but that thing whereby a week before or whatever, I have to say, my husband, next week I'm going with so and so, we're going with this. But what I want to say is that what I appreciate about myself is that, guys, I love communication, guys. I love to communicate a lot. You know, I wouldn't say that I'm going out, and then Wednesday, then no. I would tell you prior that, babe, next week, you know. But it's the manner that you are saying it, the manner that you are addressing that situation in. Again, you don't want to fight. I'm not saying, guys, but no, give your husband a position where he's supposed to be in. Give him a platform or whereby you understand that he's the leader of the house. He's the head of the house. But again, guys, I don't want to advise a young lady to a point whereby the husband will start taking advantage of her. The husband will end up abusing her. Because there's a thin line between that, you know? Because you don't want to find yourself in a position whereby the husband is starting to abuse you now. Because when you're on a pedestal, then he starts to abuse you because when you feel like high as the head of the house. And if there's a man watching this thing, I'm talking to you too again. Just because your wife or your girlfriend or your partner is respecting you, it doesn't mean you have to abuse her. It doesn't mean that you have to abuse her, no. Appreciate that you still have a woman that respects you, a woman that communicates with you, a woman who gives you your position, who respects your position as the man of the house. So, and again, disrespect, I will put it in a way whereby coming home late as a woman, you know, whereby but you're a married woman. No, no, that's wrong, guys. Like, honestly speaking, that is so wrong. I don't have anything against who groover or going on a vacation with girls or what. I don't have anything against that, guys. Those who know me, guys. Now I love having fun, but I always want to do it in a respectful way. Now, guys, if I go out with my friends or whatever, I never come home because if I come back home, it means that I didn't sleep at home. You know, it means that I got high. And this thing, we had to communicate it, me and him, because it was this thing of, I would say to him, don't do something, if I do it, you wouldn't appreciate it. You know, this thing, or this thing, going out every weekend or in, it's not the right way to run a household. The right way is not the right way. Because if you come back, it means that you didn't sleep at home, you slept outside. Same applies to women, you know. As a woman, respect your wife. As a woman, respect your husband. You know, communicate again with your husband. So, yeah, when it comes to respect, let's communicate in a right manner. Now, guys, I don't have filter. So that's why I was saying that somehow I was becoming disrespectful towards him, because I do not have filter, guys. I cannot filter at all. When I'm a Sagittarius, guys. If I say something, but trust and believe, I'm not going to change my mind. Gibullets. You know, if I'm saying I'm going out, trust and believe I'm gonna go out. So it's the approach, man. Yeah, the approach of it all. It's the approach as a woman approaching your husband, or whatever, or going on a vacation or whatever. It's an approach. So as a Sagittarius, I had to tone it down because I can, yeah, you know, this mouth, ish, this mouth. So I had to learn to be respectful towards my husband. I had to tone it down a bit. But again, guys, sometimes when a woman becomes disrespectful is because the man is not leading properly. If a man is not leading properly, we end up retaliating. We end up out of control because you are not leading properly. But if you're leading properly as a husband, for me to be submissive to you, for me to become respectful to you, it's going to become very, very easy for the both of us. Trust me. Finances in a marriage. Finances in a marriage, guys. Finances can break a marriage. Trust me, I've been there. Finances can really, really make or break a marriage. That's why a lot of women, they find themselves in a position whereby they are with a man, not because they love that man, but because the man has money. Mosadi wa rekeha, guys. Mosadi wa rekeha. Rena ra rekeha, man. Ra rekeha. And I would say it's a bad thing. Again, I would say it's a good thing. I would say it's a bad thing because you don't want to find yourself in a position whereby you're going to be with a person in a relationship for years and years while you don't love that person, but just because of the financial aspect of it. So when money runs out, what's going to happen to your relationship, Banu? Because the money has ran out. So what's going to happen to that? So for my side, the mistakes that I made in my relationship with finances was, as I said, guys, when we moved in together and we were married, I was not working. He was the one who was working. And I've never seen my husband's payslip before. Like, there was never that thing of babe, here's my salary. No, because I didn't want to, because I was young and he was taking care of everything. I didn't want to make a pressure again of saying, let me see your pay slip and whatever. And that's the mistake that me and him were able to acknowledge today and say, you know what, we should have started long time ago of saying, baby, nake hola 5 ranta, she 5 ranta ya ke hodileng. There was never that. So that's the mistake that we made, me and him, because we never got to discuss finances in our marriage. Because finances, guys, are very important. Because if you have shown me that, oh, I know how 5 rand, I cannot expect you to do things at 10 rand. Because I know when your limit is 5 rand. But if you don't show me that you're earning 5 rand, I will always ask and demand without knowing. So I would advise young couples to always disclose how much they are earning in their marriage, how much they are spending in their marriage, so that it works to your advantage if things go sour. So when it comes to me, guys, because I was young and my husband, Lena, he was young, he did not know anything about marriage, we never disclosed our finances to each other up until it was too late, because he would buy things and then I got a job and I started buying things, I started going out, everything was just flowing, but we were not communicating. You know, petty cash miracle is very important, guys, because you are saving money for in case something happens in your finances as the household. Then you know that you are able to cancel that petty cash so that you can support kamuntu. So the problem came whereby we didn't have savings. I was spending, he was spending, but we never got to sit down and disclose each other's finances. Up until it was too late to how much the finances how can ohola bukai can the wena Patrick wena how the finances can ohola bukai. So at that moment it's too late. So that's why you're addressing it right now, because it's too late. Not that it's too late, guys, but the damage has already been done. Whereby if you had disclosed at the moment whereby you guys were working and not had financial difficulties, it will become easier because you would say, okay, baby, nna ke wala 5 rand, wena wala 10 rand, re na le wala 5 rand ke na le 10 rand, re na le 8 rand ka mo ntlong. Ha re na le 8 rand ka mokgwa matlhonolo, wena your debts or whatever ke bokae, okay baby, ke tsaka ke bokana tsa ha Patrick ke bokae, ke tsekana tsaka. So you are able to, okay, a re kopantshe tsaka le tsa hao matlhono di dira bokae, di dira 5 rand ha di kopane. Then it means ka mo ntlong re salletse ka 3 rand. So if re salletse ka 3 rand ka mo ntlong, we are able to survive. But if we say that matlhono na 3 rand nna ke na le 5 rand, Patrick o te pona plan, matlhono te pona plan, but tsa matlhono le banong is too much. A di sa lekana 3 rand edi over ke 5 rand banong. Then she's all alone because you guys did not disclose ka nako e right. So that's where the problem is. So communicating in regards of finances is very important because this one of 5 rand is able to assist this one what the rand nako sa leteng. You know, but if what the rand I disclose, a lot of 5 rand I disclose or 5 rand, it's going to become a problem because right now lo end up lina le 8 rand ka muntlung, but the finance na dira 10 rand. So right now both of you guys have become overwhelmed. And that's where the problem lies. So do you favor as a young couple, disclose your finances so that if your partner is lacking somewhere, you are able to assist from that petty cash that you guys have here, the savings. Have a savings account whereby 100 rand every month from both parties if you're working. Even if one party is working, advise your partner that, baby, you know what, I'll cut out on having steak. Come on, fridging. Let's take charitela steak. Guys, I feel like even if you save 100 rand in 12 months, that's like 1.2. That's a lot. And you don't just use it just because you look, but that money, if there's something like an emergency, aren't salary from salary, renta from that savings. So having savings as a couple, it's very important. And that's what I got to learn right now as a 30-year-old, that you know what, let me and my husband finish off our debts, and then so that we can start over. And when we're starting over, we're going to have a savings account whereby me, I'm going to put money in there, Len is going to put money from his salary. That amount get emergencies like the 3 pizza Christmas, whatever, it will become savings than taking from our salaries and spending on dilo. Then banong shota ka 400 rand banong because ke pateletse lindo trip. It does not make financial sense. And trust me, guys, finances break a marriage. Finances break a marriage, guys. They do. I feel like cheating I break lenyalo. I feel like the finances, they play a huge part on breaking a marriage. So be careful when it comes to your finances and overspending individually or overspending as a couple. Be very careful because it will catch up to you. So the 4th point is that adding kids in your marriage. With this one, guys, I don't have too much advice on it because when I got married already, we had Lindo because I was pregnant, you know. So we didn't be in our marriage alone and then maybe 2 years later or 3 years later we added a child. No, already we had Lindo and we added Junior and then we added Ule, you know. But kids play they take a huge toll on you guys. Kids play a huge toll, guys, on a marriage when it comes to finances, when it comes to your sex life, when it comes to you guys being you. You know, right now you can no longer go out spontaneously and say, baby, let's take a walk because the kids are here, you know. So right now it means that you have to take a walk, you know. Kids, they play a huge part, a huge part. And I don't blame couples whereby they're saying that, you know what, we're still enjoying each other, we don't want to have kids right now, we'll have kids in 5 years or whatever. It's a good thing, you know. It's a good thing because once you add a child, it's a different ball game, guys, once you add a child in your marriage. So, and again, as Black people, let's not pressurize new couples on having a child after 1 year of marriage. Let them be. Let those two people be. Let them enjoy each other. Let them have fun with each other. Then say, oh, lo ba le ngwana ning, just because they are married. No. Okay, the sixth one, the point that I made was friends and families in marriage. I think that one, guys, I spoke about it. Our friends and families can break or make your marriage, you know, depending on the type of friends that you have at that moment, or depending on your family or young marriage. Now, guys, I come from a family whereby linyalo, it's okay. Linyalo is not an achievement, you know, and I come from a family of divorcees. You know, my grandmother divorced, my mother divorced. So it's that thing of that if wapalwa, do not force, you know. Akona that thing ya hore even though you can feel it's like serious. And my grandmother always told me this thing, that baby girl, if you want to come back home, you know, you're not going to lose yourself over a marriage because of this title marriage. No, if you feel more thing, you can always come back home, you know. And again, on that part, again, you have to be very careful again, guys, because guys, we have to be advocates of trying to build our marriages, especially if especially if cheating, if there are minor problems, why not fix them? You know, if there are minor problems, why not fix them? Why not try to find a solution on how you can tackle this thing? You know, because as long as you know, but sometimes we find ourselves in surroundings whereby people are anti-marriage, people are anti-relationships that you committed. And you might end up ruining your marriage or your relationship based on other people's opinions instead of your own opinion, or instead of how you are feeling at that moment. I would advise anyone that, you know what, it's almost a long or relationship when you feel waiting, I've done everything. I've tried everything, but this person is not changing. My partner is not changing. Then that's when you can just say, you know what, I've tried everything. Let me just hand over to God. Let me just leave, you know. Question is, that I have, the point, it says, what has marriage taught you as a 30-year-old? Marriage has taught me that you can never know a person. And marriage has taught me that you can never say fully, I am content, everything is smooth sailing. If our challenge the finances, or challenge cheating, if as cheating give family, if as a family give the chomi, it can take a huge toll on you and your relationship as a married person. So marriage has taught me that it's a work in progress for me. It's a work in progress. And you know what? I just want to say that I'm grateful that when it comes to my marriage, I have not experienced that thing of cheating. I don't know, because motuka siniti, guys. You know, but what the point that I'm trying to make is that I've never had an encounter whereby ngwanyana wa mfounela or ke kry-a the message mo founung ya monna or I've never experienced those things, guys. And I just want to say that, you know what, I'm grateful on that aspect whereby I've never had to fight with another woman for my husband. You know, I've never had a point whereby banonke ko strateng or mo social media or whatever fighting le motho because o romeletse monna ka di news or whatever. No, you know, yes, we've been challenged in a lot of things, in finances, in family wise, in us, you know, not finding a common ground whereby we're agreeing on something. But I've never come to a point whereby another person, a third party in my marriage. And I'm going to pray for that part a lot again, because you know what, guys, marriages and relationships, it's sad that, you know what, another person has to come into your marriage and ruin your marriage. And I wouldn't blame another person entirely alone, because your partner is the one atsuileng agrayena motho, you know. So I'm going to pray for that part, because but guys, people basele, you know. people ba berekisa ditlhare, even men ba berekisa ditlhare, guys. And then but again, guys, another thing, people kill each other for their partners, guys. So on that part, guys, I have to say that, you know what, I always have to pray I always have to pray for my marriage when it comes to that part. But the finance and in, guys, you can always also guys, you can always reprimand your family if they are being disrespectful to your partner, you know. But when it comes to cheating, it's a wound alluring. It's very difficult for you as a person to, I can just imagine it, guys, you know, pete out there, or pete uncrosser and basadi bang harasa, or nna ke harasana le basadi ba bangwe. I wouldn't want to find myself in that position. So I've learned a lot as a 30-year-old, and I've grown a lot in my marriage again. I've grown a lot, and I'm at a point whereby I've realized my mistakes. I've realized the mistakes of my husband, Lenny, realized it's a high, and we found common ground. We found whereby we are agreeing, you know. And I'm not saying right now it's all perfect and rosy, no. Like I'm like, Lena, I'm sure na kung kama ano, you know. So we cannot agree on everything when it comes to marriage, guys. Don't think that when you are in a marriage, you guys will always be in a honeymoon phase and you'll agree about anything and everything. No, it doesn't work like that. It really, trust me, that's not the reality of marriage. Marriages are a work in progress. That's why we have a lot of divorces, and it doesn't mean that like divorceana just because sometimes it's because you really cannot do it anymore, you know. So yeah, guys, that's my 2 cents on marriage, and I just want to say that, guys, I do not have any regrets when it comes to marriage, of me being married young. I don't have any regrets, guys. I do not, because it has taught me a lot as a person. Guys, I have my 3 most beautiful kids ever, you know. My husband is still healthy, my kids are still healthy, I'm still healthy. Yes, we have challenges and whatever, but I do not have any regrets, guys, because starting again, what are you missing out on exactly? What are you missing out on exactly? Because starting, you're not missing out on anything. And I feel like if Moto is not abusive towards you emotionally, financially, physically, why not give it a try? You know, why not give it a try? So I do not have any regrets, guys. I do not have, and I pray for my marriage every day, and I pray that, you know what, God, I reflect to a point whereby we are okay again financially, we are okay again emotionally in our marriage. So yeah. So guys, my loves, thank you. I hope that you guys enjoyed having this chit chat with me so far. I hope that you guys learned something from me, and if you are thinking about marriage, my love, I'm wishing you all the best. Tsena with the right intention, tsena with the right mindset in marriage, and just know that it won't always be rosy and gloomy and beautiful. There are challenges in marriages, in relationships. It's not only marriages, guys, because I know there are people who have decided that they will never get married, or they don't want to get married, and I fully respect them for that. But still, I'm sure you want a life partner, even though you don't want to be married. But you have to know what you're getting yourself into, you know, because being with a person, you guys come with different mindset, you come with different opinions. So those opinions will always come along whereby you guys are clashing on something, you know. So yeah, that's all that I wanted to say, my loves. I hope that you guys enjoyed this far, and I hope that you guys did not skip any ads. I love you guys loads, and if you're new here, my love, please don't forget to subscribe. There is more coming from me. Love you guys loads. Bye.